Hi, welcome to Crafting with the Crafty Chick. This is video number 4 for the Jar of Flowers project number 4. Again, I wanted to thank you for joining me and crafting with me a little bit today. But before we get started, as promised in the last video, I said that I would give you guys a sneak peek of the prizes for the drawing at the end of the video. And so what the prizes are, I have 2 of them, and these are, I put these together and it's super fun. I'm so excited to do this for you guys. But these are part of the, I think it's called Memories and More, card pack or card kit that coordinates with the floral sunflower stamp set. And all the colors featured in these are from the new ink colors. So I intentionally left this one open so that I can pull it out and show you guys. So we have 2 lucky winners that are going to win these today. And this is the Just Jade Bumblebee Misty Moonlight colors and the cinnamon cider inside that flower. And so real quick, I'll just kind of go over what these are. Oh, and I forgot about these. In the catalog, they have, for all the new ink colors, these card and envelope packs that coordinate. And so all of the new ink colors are in here. And then from the, I think it's Memories and More card pack, I included one to go with every single ink color. So you guys could stamp these or stamp a sentiment or whatever, write something, and put these together quickly to make cards. They are double-sided, so there's multiple images on these. If you don't like one side, you can use the other side. And so that is one. And then this one is on the Misty Moonlight. And the nice thing is you can use the cards this way, or you can have them open up this way. Totally up to you. And all the envelopes coordinate. I did not put this pattern paper. These come like that in the envelopes. And so then we have this pattern, which allows you to decorate, put a flower or sentiment and tie ribbon. There's a lot of options you guys have. If you wanted to use the other side, beautiful sunflowers, and put like a die cut with a sentiment or a big sunflower. Like, so many possibilities. And then this one is our cinnamon cider color. Like I said, it just makes me think of a very lightened chocolate chip. And here's the envelope that coordinates with that one. That one's upside down, sorry. You can stamp a sentiment in here real quick, attach it to this and put it on here, and boom, you've got an instant card, less than 5 minutes. I love, this is so pretty, the Bloom and Grow. I love the flowers, how they come up on the side. So again, there's options. You can even forego this piece and just put a sentiment or something on this piece, and you can put this piece inside. I mean, there's so many things you can do. Make sure, okay. This card pack has a couple of things that you can use for Christmas. And so this one is the Just Jade. And then the coordinating envelope. And this one is part of it. It does not have a little one because there really wasn't one to go with this particular one in the card pack. But Winter Wishes, just be a quick and easy card. Or you can use the other side, which is Misty Moonlight Flowers. This pink is pretty, but it is bright. Yeah, I have trouble coming up with ideas for this color without it being so in your face pop. It is a bright pink, pretty color, but it can be kind of difficult to work with. And here's the coordinating envelope for that one. And you've got this one side, says love, or you can turn it over, use that side, or you can mix and match. There's so many different things you can do. And really quick, Stampin' Up! I think last year or the year before had a product medley, as they called it, and I think it was called Everything is Rosy. This next project, the colors were inspired by that medley, just the pink and the blue, and this is what it makes me think of, even though they were different shades. So let me seal this now. These stickers you see on here are also part of this card pack. It all comes in one. Really, really pretty. So, at the end of the video, I will be doing a prize drawing. I will be drawing names, and to kind of keep in with our theme of jar of flowers, I brought in a glass mason jar and put everybody's names in there. So I will be drawing from that. So, good luck, guys. Hang on, because we have goodies coming. Okay, I'll put those off to the side. And the last card, the fourth card we're going to be doing is this one today. This is the very first project that I started, and this pink, the Magenta Madness, I had a hard time because it was everything I did. It was just so in your face with that pop of bright, beautiful pink. And I needed to find a way to kind of tone it down a little bit. And so I've done that by allowing some of the Magenta Madness to show through, but toning it down with this Misty Moonlight. Really quick, this is embossed with the Subtles embossing folder, if anybody wants to know. Sometimes some of the embossing folders have a very busy pattern or just really take away from the focal point of your card. This Subtles one has been my favorite. I have used it a ton because it provides just a little something without being over the top and taking away from the rest of my card. This pattern piece you see here with the dots, that is part of the 6x6 in color DSP pack, which I think is $11.50. These enamel dots, remember we talked about those? These are part of the new in color enamel dots you guys have in your kit. And then we have our jar. Now the water you guys see in here, I actually colored that in with the Stampin' Blend and then went over it with my color lifter to lighten the color of the water. And I have the colors, and I will get to that in a minute. I write every card I make. I write down everything, the dimensions, the colors I use, the stamp I use, just everything. Because this goes, so I call this my master card, and I have a box which I call my master card box. So every card that I make that's a Crafty Chick original goes in my master card box. If at any point down the road I go through my box looking for inspiration, or hey, I want to make another one of this kind of card, I can pull this out and I have everything written down for me. I don't have to go, oh, what was that color? What were these called? And what stamp set was that called? Because I have everything right here to go, and I can pull everything together and create a card. A huge time saver. And I do this for all of my cards that I make that's a Crafty Chick original. If I case a card, which casing sometimes we do because it's fun and we don't want to think of an idea sometimes. So casing stands for copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So if we ever case a card, I always note who it was that we are casing the card from to give that person credit. But all of our projects are Crafty Chick originals. So we're ready to get started, but before we do, make sure you will need scissors and dimensionals and something else. Oh, glue dots. If you have glue dots, you will need those. And then and your take your pick tool, you will need that as well. So once you have your supplies gathered, and then we're ready to get started, I'm going to bring in all of our kit pieces and lay everything out, and we'll start creating. Alright, so I'm going to set this off to the side. Bring everything in. Okay. So we are starting with our Misty Moonlight card base. Such a pretty blue. I think I went through almost 3/4 of a pack the first week I got this paper. I just really like this color. Oh, one of my notes I need to tell you guys. I do this. I write little notes of things I need to tell you or mention, or tips and tricks to share, that kind of thing. So I need to show you the cutout off of the bouquet. So I will get to that. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we have our Whisper White, that's the next layer. And that one is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have the next layer. This is Magenta Madness, new in color. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5. And that's going to be our next layer. And then the next one, this is Misty Moonlight, embossed with the Subtles embossing folder. And this one is 3 9/16 by 4 13/16. Just keep in mind that when you go to emboss it, it will shorten it just a tad, not a lot, but just know that, so that you might be a little offset and might have to trim according to make sure it's even all the way around. Okay, and then we have our Magenta Madness strip, and this is 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. And then this is the In Color DSP. Comes in a paper pack, and so I like this one. It was like a blue jean material almost. And when I started making this card, I actually used this one first. It just really kind of gave it a country girl look with all the pink and the denim look going on. But in the end, I decided with the Subtles embossed. I just think it really just makes it look better. But you can go either way, can't go wrong. So then this piece is 1 by 3 3/4. And then our Whisper White piece with our sentiment, this piece is 5/8 of an inch by 3 1/2. The sentiment, because at the time I made these, we were not allowed to pre-order the new In Color ink pads at that time. So trying to find a close match, I was able to go with Melon Mambo. And so this is Melon Mambo stamped off. So you ink it up, stamp, and then stamp onto here, and then it's not quite so bright. And it actually really goes well with the Magenta Madness. So if you're not wanting to buy the new ink pads or have all of the colors coordinate exactly, just know Melon Mambo is a good option for this one. Okay. And this sentiment comes from the Sunflower stamp set. So there's quite a few, but I just thought it was kind of perfect to go with this particular card. The Jar of Flowers does not have any sentiment, so the beauty of that is you can use whatever sentiment you want. Okay, so that's all of these, and then you also have in your kit, it's actually going to look like this piece. And again, just like one of our other projects, this right here did not get colored, and the reason I did not color that is because we're not including that in our card. So fussy cutting, we're cutting everything out but this little corner, whatever that is. And so I've already fussy cut my piece out, and you're going to notice that we have a white border around the whole thing except for this corner where we left that part out. And that's okay, because once you put it on your card, it's not going to be that noticeable. And then you have the jar. I love how you can just line the stems up right up against the top of that. It's so easy to do with this stamp set. I'm reading my notes here. So the stems I colored or stamped with light Mossy Meadow ink, and then I colored them in with the light Old Olive stamping blend. It just really gives that nice muted green color. The water, I used a light seaside spray and then went over it with my color lifter to lighten it up. And then the jar is stamped with Balmy Blue that's been stamped off. So from the last video, I stamped the jar Balmy Blue. This is Balmy Blue full strength. So it's this but stamped off onto your grid paper just to make that lighter blue. And then you have your enamel dots with green colors, you need those. And in your kit there should be a bow and another piece. So we're actually going to use both of these pieces. I want to tell you something about this ribbon. I was able to get all of the new in color ribbon except for Cinnamon Cider, which is on back order, I think until July 13th. I love this ribbon. It ties beautifully, makes bows. Not even a thing. I mean, it is just so easy, and it just has that kind of silky feel. I love everything about this ribbon. Okay, so we are ready to get started. Remember, you need your take your pick tool, your glue dots, your dimensionals, and your scissors. And we're ready to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is get all of these layers together. So we're going to start with the Whisper White and attach it to our Misty Moonlight base. So our card is supposed to fold this way, so make sure your fold is on the left side. And we're going to glue this on. Or adhesive, whatever you guys use. Making sure my fold is on this side. And we're going to attach that. I love having the border all the way around. I've made so many cards that I used to have to line it up to my grid and kind of eyeball. Now I can just kind of eyeball it and get it almost perfect every time. And take the liner out. And then next we're going to attach our Magenta Madness right on top of our Whisper White. I'd really love to know what you guys think about this pink. It's so bright. It's pretty, but ooh, it can be a little challenging. Then we're going to take our Subtles embossed piece, and if you flip it over, you're going to notice one side, the embossed design is like recessed, just goes in, but if you flip over the other side, the embossed image is lifted, so you can, it's like raised. So it doesn't matter which side you do. I like to do my raised side up, but you can do either one. And we're going to attach this piece right over our Magenta Madness. Okay. And then with these three pieces, what I like to do is actually assemble them off of the card. So we're going to turn our Magenta Madness piece this way, and we're going to take our DSP, we're going to glue this DSP piece to our Magenta Madness. And so what you want to do is try to center it and leave the same amount of space of a gap on both sides. And for this, if you wanted to line it up with your grid so you can eyeball that, just make sure that you go all the way up to the top and the bottom on both sides, and leave about the same amount of space of the Magenta Madness to show through on both ends. And then you're going to take your sentiment, thanks a bunch, and we're going to attach this to this piece now. So what you want to do is, it's not going to cover the full span of this piece. So you want to make sure that the end of your sentiment, where the word says bunch, You want to make sure that that is exactly flush with the rest so that they're all lined up on this end. We're not going to worry about this end because it's going to get covered up. Then we're going to glue this on. Make sure your words are going the right direction. And so this end is flush with this end. And again, you just center it and kind of make sure your dots are even on both sides. And if you don't have it just right, the nice thing about mono glue is you've got a little bit of flexibility to move it into place where you need it to be. Okay, and now we're ready to, so you should have a gap of that blue DSP showing. So now we're ready to attach this piece to our card. So I'm going to turn this around. Make sure that your fold is up at the top. And you can use your grid or your ruler, but I try to just keep it right in the center. So I'm going to follow this line right here. And I'm going to center this right in the middle of that line, which is pretty much halfway on my card, both ends. So I have about even gap on these two ends. And so now we're going to attach this piece to our card. So you want to go all the way up to this pink. You want to cover that pink up with this piece, and I will show you what I mean by that. Let me get my card centered here. Okay, so all you should have showing on this end is the white and none of that pink. You should cover that up with this piece. So once you have that in place, go ahead and secure that down. And so this is what your card should look like. You should just have that white just showing through and not the magenta madness from this piece. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. And so now we need to get all of our other pieces together. So what you're going to want to do is, I've already done mine, but you're going to want to take a minute and fussy cut this piece out. And this you can, if you want to include this, you can, but it's going to stick out over your card and then you will not be able to put this in an envelope. So if this is a card you plan to give to somebody in person without an envelope, go for it. And then just use your markers or pencils and color it in, or fussy cut it out and just have this piece. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to do that while I'm doing the other parts here. Okay. And the nice thing about doing the videos this way is that you guys can do this at your own pace. You can pause the video, you can start and play when you're ready. You can rewind if you need to go back a step. Okay. So now, let's just say everybody's got their flower arrangement fussy cut. So now you're going to take the scrap piece of Magenta Madness ribbon, and using your high tack adhesive or your Tear and tape, or whatever adhesive you use, and along your jar. So you want to, let me just show you really quick. So basically the flowers are going to cover where you would screw that lid on, but you want to leave just a little bit of a gap for your ribbon to show through. But we're going to cover the stems where those two lines meet, so you won't see that. So I'm going to take my adhesive and just run it along here. And then you're going to take that Magenta Madness piece, attach it to your jar, Make sure you leave what I call tails at the end because we're going to tuck those underneath. Put adhesive on the back so I can secure my ribbon tails, ribbon end, whatever you call them. And so now you have wrapped the ribbon around your jar. Now we are going to put dimensionals on the back of our jar. Love these dimensionals. I go through a lot of them. I almost always have at least 4 packs on hand just because I use them a lot. So I did 5 dimensionals. So 2 in each corner and then 1 in the middle. I'm going to take the backings off. It's funny sometimes when I'm crafting and I'm using dimensionals that somehow, some way, some of these backings end up on the floor in like the oddest places. And I think sometimes I track them out on the bottom of my slippers because sometimes I find them on the living room floor. What's up with that? Okay, so now you've got your dimensional backings off, and we're going to, on this card, the jar has covered up the Misty Moonlight and Magenta Madness. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. But remember, we want to cover up this gap so that's not showing. And once our floral arrangement goes on here, you kind of want to eyeball because you don't want to go too far to the end because your flowers will overlap your card. So you want to go in a little bit. And just kind of shake your flowers and make sure that those are all going to be within your card so they're not protruding outside of your card and not able to fit in an envelope. And when you're ready, go ahead and attach your jar down. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our floral image. So nice to sit down and craft. It's been super busy. The chickens are getting so big, you guys. Oh my goodness. And they have learned how to fly. So when I go to open the lid of the brooder, a couple of them usually fly out to greet me. Okay, so once you've got your dimensionals on the back of your floral image, you want to cover up this gap here. We don't want to see any of that showing on our card. So we're going to, and remember, keep your floral image inside of your card and be mindful of how much it sticks out over the top too. And when you've got it in place where you want it, go ahead and secure that down. And make sure it's not out over the edge. And then this is where your glue dots come in handy. You're going to take your bow, the back of your bow, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to take this middle part of your bow, and you're going to, some people call this a kiss it technique, where you take your product and you put it over the top of the glue dot, or kiss it with your glue dot. And then you can either use your take your pick tool or your fingers and just lift that up. And over to the right hand side is where I attach my bow. And you want to make sure not to cover up your words. You want your words to still show. So when you've got that right where you want it, go ahead and attach that down and put your finger over it just to really secure that blue dot down. I think I'm going to trim this off a little bit. It's hanging down too far. There we go. Okay, and then enamel dot. So in the bottom corner here, I just placed 2 of the Magenta Madness enamel dots, which are the pink one, and I have yet to have one of these separate. So maybe it was just those ones just weren't as good, or I was doing it wrong. So I just placed 2 of them side by side. Amazing. You guys tell me what you think of these. So I placed those 2 Magenta Madness enamel dots there. And now we're ready to include our liner inside. A Whisper White liner, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, and there you have the Last Jar of Flowers card. So, I don't have a lot of the dimensions for all of the projects. I have them written down, but I think most of them are pretty standard. So I'm going to really quick just show the projects we did. Get these out. So we've used all of the new in colors except for one, which was Cinnamon Cider, and in the process of trying to put together a Cinnamon Cider, every card I tried, it made it look like fall cards, and I don't think we're quite ready to do fall cards yet, so I thought I would save it for when we do fall cards. So, but here is our projects, and if anybody wants the dimensions, I mean, these are our standard card dimension is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then the next layer is 4 by 5 1/4. This one, I only put down the Stampin' Blend colors that I use, because really it's just the base again. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the next one is 4 by 5 1/4, and then these 2 are from the stitched rectangle framelits. And then I gave you guys the dimensions for this one. So these are our projects. Super fun, and this is all utilizing the Jar of Flowers. The sentiments, the Thanks a Bunch and Know That You Are Loved, are from the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set on page 13 in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. It's right beside this Jar of Flowers stamp set. Page 12 is Jar of Flowers. Page 13 is Sunflowers. Yes, I've looked at those 2 pages hundreds of times. That's how I'm able to tell you that. Page 12 and 13, you guys, check it out. And then this sentiment is from, I think it's called Something So Sweetly, and I didn't write that down. And then the little note, I think, is from Butterfly Gay Love, which is a carryover stamp set from our last annual catalog to this annual catalog. Okay, so now I think we are ready for the prize giveaway. This is fun. I'll get all of these together. And if anybody has any questions about any of these supplies or colors, or wants to know about a particular sentiment, feel free to message me and I will get that taken care of for you. Okay, clear off my area here. So here is our prizes. So we're going to have 2 lucky winners. We'll get one of these. And then I'm going to bring in, so here is my my ball mason jar. I have a lot of these that we even use them to drink out of, not necessarily just canning. So I've got everybody's names in here, and I'm going to draw 2 names, and here we go. Okay, and number 1, we have Karen. So congratulations, Karen, you have won one of the Crafty Chick giveaways. So I will give that to you in your next kit. Congratulations. Okay, one more. And we have Dawn. Wow, congratulations, you guys. So Dawn and Karen has won their prize giveaways. Congratulations, you guys. I will get these both to you next time I see you. And so it looks like everybody likes the idea of doing Christmas in July. So I will be getting started on creating projects for Christmas in July. Last year we did Christmas in July and had so much fun. Some of you ladies are still talking to me about it. And I think, if I remember right, we actually did 6 projects. So I will, in keeping with that tradition, come up with 6 projects for us to do. Christmas is like 6 months away. So starting early, kind of getting an idea or getting ready, is never a bad thing, because I think it happens every year. Christmas comes and it's like, oh my goodness, I have a million things to do, right? So this will give us a head start on Christmas in July. I will keep everybody posted, and if anybody has any questions about the video, just let me know. I will get this information out to you guys soon so you can view these. And we'll just see how this works. I would love your input. And again, I thank you so much for spending your time with me and crafting with the Crafty Chick. I love and miss you guys. Please be well. Take care of you and take care of each other. And I will see you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.